Hey friends, welcome back to day 4 of our advent calendar series. Today we are going to be painting a simple candy cane, but I'm going to show you a special way to make it pop rather than it look flat. So let's jump in and get started. Also, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on one single video. Okay friends, welcome to day 4 of our advent calendar series. Today we're going to be painting a candy cane. I'm going to try and make it short and sweet and simple. I have my Arches cold pressed watercolor paper, cut 3 by 4 inches, my Winsor Newton professional watercolors. I have a size 6 and this is a size 4, but it's similar to a size 2. Round brush, water, paper towel, and then again I might be using my white ink. And again, if you don't have this, you could always use a white gel pen, white acrylic, white paint, whatever is opaque that you have that's white will work just for an extra little bit of detail on the candy cane. All right, so let's get started. If you'd like, you can grab a pencil to do the outline, which actually I might just do to start. So we're just going to do one single candy cane. I'm thinking of doing a quick bow. I like to say I like to make it really nice and short, but then I'm like, let's do more. So we'll see how this turns out. So I'm just going to do this candy cane shape. It's kind of like a hook, like so. Coming down, coming down like this. Yep. And then I'm just going to erase that line there. Should we do a little bow? Let's do a bow. Why not? So I'm going to do kind of like this rounded square. Then I'm going to have a bow come on this side, and a bow come on this side, like that. And then a little boop, boop. Okay, so now I'm going to erase any lines I don't need. So just these little lines in the bows. And then I'm just going to roll over top of my sketch, just so it's not so dark. All right, and we're ready to start. Okay, so the first thing I'm actually going to start with is a really light wash of black to do a gray shadow, because our candy cane is going to be red and white. But again, if you're painting a white object, it's never going to be just plain white. So I'm actually going to use my size 6 brush, grab a tiny bit of black. Let's put it here, just a little bit of black, really, really light. And I'm going to go over the whole candy cane with this extremely light wash of gray, avoiding the bow, okay? And this is just going to make it stand out from the paper because the paper's white. We don't want it to blend in with the background of the paper. So really, really light wash of gray. Okay, then your next job is to place in your shadows while it is still wet. So I'm just trying to make sure it's all nice and evenly wet. I'm going to grab my smaller brush and I'm going to grab a slightly darker shade of gray, just slightly darker. And I'm going to place the shadows on the inside here, just like this. Oops. And then on this side of it, and then underneath the bow here, like so. And this is going to make it pop. Now, if you feel like your shadows are a little bit too, like they've spread out a bit too much, wash and dry off your brush, just tapping it on your paper towel, and just kind of clean it up a bit. Again, wash, dry off your brush, just kind of lift some of that color just to clean up the shadows a bit, make it a bit more smooth. And if you feel like your shadows aren't intense enough, you could always just go back in, make them a little bit darker, just a little bit. And I know it looks like a gray candy cane, but once you add the red, this is going to give the illusion that it's white, like so. Okay, so before we do the red, we need to actually let this completely dry. Okay, now that it's dry, let's work on the bow. So I'm just going to do a flat wash of a simple red on the bow. You could always make it whatever color you'd like. I'm just going to do a medium wash, so not too light, not too dark, over the whole bow. Okay, and you're gonna let that dry. And while we're letting that dry, I'm gonna grab my smaller brush again, and we're gonna do the red on the candy cane. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my Winsor red, not too dark of a value, because we're gonna add some shadows in there. So I'm gonna start by just doing some stripes on our candy cane, like this. Okay, we're just gonna go all the way around. And the one thing I will say about this is try and make your lines, like the stripes on it, curved a bit. If it's going straight across, it's not going to give the illusion that the candy cane is 3D and round. So have a slight curve to your stripes. That's just going to give you that extra little 3D element to it. I feel like this one's a little bit straight. Like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a darker red. So I'm just going to use this alizarin crimson color. Or you could always mix a tiny bit of green with your red. And you're going to start adding darker red to where we added the shadows with the gray. So on the inside here, I'm going to make it darker. Now see how solid that line is? Now, if you like that look, you can leave it. Or if you want it more blended, you can wash off your brush, dry it a little bit, and then just touch the end and just kind of blend it out. Just so it's a little bit softer. Totally up to you what you want your shadow to look like. If you want it a bit more of like a stark kind of hard edge, because sometimes that's what it looks like. But if you want it more blended, you could always do that too. Or the other option is while you were placing your red to begin with, oh, the shadow's supposed to be on the other side now. Wash and dry that off. Just blend this out a bit. I might bring more shadow over on this side. Was when it was still wet, then you can add, like just tap in some darker red. So if you want to, you can do it that way or the other way. So I'm going to add my darker red on this side now, because remember we added the shadow on this side. Totally up to you though. Like that. And see how 3D it kind of looks already? Just blending it out a bit. That one's still kind of wet. Totally up to you. And I'm noticing that my gray is a little bit, you know, underwhelming. Okay, and then if you wanted to add a little bit more gray shadow to it, I tried. It didn't work as well because I couldn't wait for it to dry. But this, I would even try and go a bit more intense with your gray shadow in the beginning. So just add a little bit more, maybe gray, just to get a bit more of an intense shadow on the white part. So like here I kind of messed it up, but that's okay. You can try and fix it. You just gotta wait and be patient, which I am not one of those people. But yeah, so you want to ideally blend this out, but if, again, you want more of a stark kind of hard edge for your shadow, you can do that too. I kind of like the way that looks as well. Okay, so there's the candy cane part. Let's just do the bow really, really quick. So we're just going to grab a bit more red for our shadow, and I'm just going to define the folds. Now this part would have a little bit of a fold and it would be a shadow under here. So I'm going to make this a bit darker like that. And then same on this side. It's like you're seeing the inside of the ribbon there. Like that. And then maybe give a little bit more shadow right here. You can just wash off your brush and then blend it out a bit more. We could do a couple creases, and the bow, however you like. Maybe just make it a little bit more intense with color all over. Add a bit more shadow. Whatever kind of speaks to you. Okay, just adding a little bit more shadow to some of the folds. Like so. And then under here, like that. And then the final piece of this is adding the white. So like I said, you can use a white gel pen if you like. I'm just going to use my white bleed-proof ink. And I'm just going to add a little bit of highlight, just kind of on the candy cane right here, which really adds that extra element that it's kind of like in plastic too. And you can even add a little bit of highlight on the bow if you'd like. Totally up to you. And there you go. There is your candy cane. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you tomorrow for day 5 of our Advent Calendar series. Have a great day, guys. Bye.